everything has already happened, and it doesn't matter if you stress about it or not. The only thing that matters is that you keep going after it. You keep trying your best. And sometimes your best is not exactly what we would want it to be. Sometimes our best is not available to us, but it is still our best, regardless. You are not cheating yourself by going at the pace that was meant for you. But you are cheating yourself if you decide to let your potential go to waste. And you'll notice that people who are into the potential of others, so they meet someone, they go on a date, and now they already have all these pre-made ideas of how it's going to play out, are usually people that have a lot of potential themselves. They have a lot of ambitions themselves. And every single thing you have projected on someone else is actually meant for you. Everything you have orchestrated in your head, every fantasy you've had about relationships while dating someone who has shown you no clear sign, absolutely no clear sign of being that person, it was you. This projection, these ideas, it's what you need, or it's what you know you have at the end of it all. But yet you don't fully believe it because you are trying to mold someone into a person you can not only become yourself for yourself, but that already exists and is already out there for you somewhere, somehow. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter when. As long as you keep working hard on your goals and what you want to achieve, they will be on your path. Now, your path is the path you are meant to walk to feel the happiest, and that is without anyone else involved. That looks like what you've always wanted to do as a kid, the ambition and goals that you have for yourself, the kind of positions you want, the kind of impact you want, the kind of salary you want, the kind of style you want, the kind of lifestyle you want. And sometimes the kind of love we want. Those are all wonderful, wonderful things and aspirations. But of course, you deserve to feel happy before achieving anything. Your happiness is not a conditional feeling that only happens when you are worthy. It is the state of mind and the state of your heart that will lead you where you're supposed to be. A lot of people confuse delaying happiness with motivation, and so they completely starve themselves of any joy in their own day-to-day life because they don't feel proud of where they're at right now. They don't feel like they deserve to enjoy life because they're not where they want right now. They're not where they want to be right in this moment. But you know what? I'm going to say something to you and you tell me what you think. But anything could happen. Of course, everything already has happened. But if anything could happen, then you must learn to enjoy where you're at, because that prepares you to the next level where you will actually experience everything you want. But the way you're feeling, if it's not congruent to where you want to be, then you'll never find happiness in reaching those goals, anyways. You only find happiness in reaching goals that are financial, material, and worldly when you already are able to be happy, knowing that all of it is there, all of it is possible, anything is possible. But because anything is possible, nothing can be taken for granted, and every day must be enjoyed to the fullest. It is a state of mind. When you look at a tree, when you look at the sky, when you step outside and you get to walk and feel safe about it, you get to go where you want to go, you get to go purchase a coffee somewhere and you have an interaction with people there. Why not make it the best time of your life? Because that's the only time that you're in right now. When you are grinding, you're in work mode and you're giving it your all. Why don't you play some ambiance music, like epic music in the background? Trust me, this is such a vibe. And put your favorite candle scents around. Make sure your home is cozy because you're gonna be there if you hustle from home. Or if you're grinding at work and your work is at a certain office, why not make sure that you look your best every day? Make sure that you have the best playlists to listen to on your way to work because you know you're gonna grind and you need all that extra energy. And of course, this doesn't mean dismissing your sadness. Absolutely not. Your sadness is a part of it. And when you realize that it's not that deep, but it's a human emotion that you get to experience that makes you feel human and that connects you to your simplicity at the core and your complexity at the heart and the mind, you can play into it. Have fun. You know you're sad. You know you're going to be happy in a couple weeks because you're always getting what you want after a hard time. You always get your biggest blessings after a hard time. So while it's hard right now, why not make it the most epic time of your life without believing that it is the end? Without believing that it is the end. Without believing every thought that crosses your mind, but letting your mind cross your heart and letting your heart hurts so that you can feel some tears and let the emotions out. When I say enjoy your life in all of its complexity and simplicity, I mean romanticize every step. You getting that coffee is an opportunity to talk to the person that works there, to engage in a conversation with someone that's also in line there. We have way more opportunities than we think when it comes to connecting with others. And life makes it so that as we get older, we feel more and more isolated. But this feeling doesn't reflect our opportunities truly if we decide to be present in every single simple moment that presents itself to us. Everything is already written. You don't have to worry. And you know why I told you all of this in relation to what I said in the beginning? It's that not only you don't have to worry, but when you do worry, it takes away your focus from the present moment, and you don't get to enjoy it anymore. If there is a problem, there must be a solution. If the solution cannot be resolved right there, right now, then you must learn patience. And when you learn patience, you learn how to accept your real pace. And so that little delay, that little frustration, that issue that you have might actually be exactly what you need to build that tolerance to failure, to defeat, to delays. Everything is already written, everything is already out there for you. But it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. You must follow your gut feeling. And when you do, you will remember how powerful you are. And when you realize that these words that I utter are your own, and that we are sharing the same experience, and that I just explained to you everything subconsciously that you have been knowing and feeling about yourself, this is when you'll wake up. This is when you'll wake up to a new reality where you are not only the main character, but you finally realize your role all along. And that not only it was the main character, but that you got things to do. You got stuff to accomplish. You got a mission on this earth. You got a purpose on this earth. And no one will stop you unless you stop yourself, unless you let people get in your way and tell you who you are so that you don't think for yourself and you let your feelings affected by the bare opinion of people that don't even like themselves. Everything is meant to reconnect you to who you are. And as you are listening to my words, you might be thinking about how good it feels to listen to these words, because actually my voice is traveling from your head all the way down your chest, all the way down your belly, and suddenly you don't need to think anymore. Every single time you think, you just want to think about things that are empowering. Every time you are somewhere outside, you just take a deep breath in and remember who you are, how lucky you are, how blessed you are, how full of potential you are. And next time you try to build someone up from scratch because you think they have potential, somehow you will remember who you are. And this time, it will be different. Because this time, you will finally act as yourself and you will remember who you are. And who you are is who you were always meant to be. And when you realize that you can act as who you are always meant to be, everything will change. When you realize that you can act today as who you are meant to be, everything will change. And so it is. And as you are listening to this, you may start to feel relaxed and slowly drift away to a relaxing sleep that will have you awakened more refreshed, more like yourself. No more NPC lifestyle. No more NPC thinking. No more fear of having an opinion. No more fear of having a personality. No more fear of being too much. No more fear of losing someone. No more fear of feeling like you are not allowed to be happy. You will wake up refreshed, and as you dream and drift away, may I invite tonight the most enlightening dreams you ever had. And so